There's something wrong with my mystery egg in Pokemon Silver. When I received it, I heard a muffled scream. Confused, I checked the egg. The scream got louder. The shell was already cracked. I kept walking until it finally hatched. I wish I hadn't. A Togepi appeared, but its body was pale. Its eyes were blank, expressionless. When I checked its stat, it had 0 max HP, and its type was Ghost. In Paper Mario, your partners should always talk, except mine didn't. When I recruited Lucky Lester, his dialogue box was blank. I thought it was a glitch, but the silence continued every time he was supposed to speak. During battle, his portrait was missing. His abilities didn't work. The slot just read empty. Then one by one, every partner's slot disappeared. Goombario, Cooper, Paracari, erased. When only Mario remained, the screen went black, and my file name was changed to Alone. I shouldn't have looked in the mirror in VR. I expected to see my avatar's reflection, but instead it showed my real face. Confused, I kept staring. Then the reflection's eyes welled up, and tears of blood began to fall. Terrified, I ripped the headset off, but when I looked down, there was blood on it. I glanced at my room's mirror, and my eyes, they were bleeding. The DK rap started normally, until no other Kongs appeared. Donkey Kong sang alone. The verses for Diddy, Tiny, and Chunky never came. He just kept repeating DK, Donkey Kong, over and over. When the rap ended, the character select screen appeared, but only DK's slots was there. Every other Kong was gone. I pressed on his barrel and it loaded into the treehouse. The other Kongs, they were there, lying on the floor, lifeless. The clock in Majora's Mask stopped ticking. Time froze just before the moon should have crashed. I could still move, but everything else was frozen. NPCs stuck in terror. I played the song a time, nothing. Reset the game, still frozen. I deleted my save and started over. But it loaded the exact same moment, only this time, the NPCs weren't frozen. They were staring at me. I explored an old abandoned MMORPG. As I expected, no player were online. I did quests alone. The world felt different when it was empty. But then I turned around and saw another player staring at me. The server count still said 0. I ignored it, but every now and then he was there again, watching. I logged off, shut my computer down, went to bed, but in the middle of the night, I woke up. The game was running, and the other player staring at the screen. There's a track in Sonic Racing Cross World you were never meant to play. I unlocked a new course called Hidden Zone. When I entered, there were no other racers, just me. The music was a distorted, slowed version of Water Garden. As I drove further, the sky grew darker. Crashed machine lined the road, and inside them, their drivers, mangled, torn apart, blood everywhere. My character began accelerating on its own, straight towards the wall at the end of the track. The screen went dark, and I was never able to boot the game again. I discovered a hidden, abandoned arcade in my town. I was late for work, so I took a shortcut behind the mall, a place nobody really goes anymore. There was always construction ahead, signs blocking the way, but I've never seen any actual construction. So I decided to test my luck. As I ran through this ghostly alley, I noticed a faint light behind a cracked glass door. Inside, I could see old arcade machines, covered in dust, yet somehow still glowing. The door was unlocked. I stepped in. That's when one of the cabinets flickered to life. Its screen read, "Free play forever. Press start." Curious, I pressed the button. The door slammed shut behind me. The machine went silent, and then in a distorted voice it said, "Welcome." In the abandoned arcade, one cabinet stood out, Donkey Kong. When I was a kid, I spent every dollar I had on that game. I looked for the coin slot, but there wasn't one. I guess everything in here really is free play. I pressed the start button. The game booted up normally, except Donkey Kong never threw any barrels. Every time I reached the top, he just carried the princess higher into the next stage. After a few levels, her scream changed. She wasn't yelling help anymore. She was shouting, "Stay." Then DK threw a single barrel. It caught me off guard. The barrel hit Mario and flattened him into a pool of red pixels before the screen glitched to black. One word remained, "Stay." I'd try to run, but the exit doors were locked. Something was wrong with the claw machine in the arcade. I think I've been here for days now. Time doesn't feel real anymore, but only just noticed it. There weren't any stuffed animal inside, only small black boxes. They looked like jewelry boxes, the kind you'd keep a ring in. Among the boxes, one stood out, a golden one. Maybe it's the key out of here. I started trying to grab it, but the golden box was buried. I had to win a few of the black ones first. Inside each box was a small note and name, and beneath it, time of death, each with a different date. The machine hummed louder every time the claw dropped, metal scraping against glass, echoing through the empty arcade. Finally, I managed to grab the golden box. At last, I thought, maybe I can get out. When I opened it, inside was my name, and the date read October 16th, 2025. It can't be. It's so soon. The Punchout cabinet was exactly what I needed right now. Being trapped in this unholy arcade is driving me completely mad. I just needed something to calm my anger, something familiar, so I could think of a way out. At first, it worked. Then the opponents stopped fighting back. They just stood there, waiting. I started to feel uneasy. Is every game in here broken? Regardless, I kept playing. I beat every single one until the final fighter appeared, Mr. Sandman. No matter what I did, he wouldn't take any damage. And just as I was about to give up, he punched back. One hit, KO. Cabinet screen shattered. Through the crack I could still see his face, that unsettling smile, and the words that faded onto the broken glass. "You're next." Being trapped in this arcade is making me lose my mind. I even started talking to it. I said, "If I play all your games, will you let me go?" Then behind me, a cabinet lit up. That same eerie hum filled the air. The one I can't stand anymore. "Fine," I muttered, "if that's what you want." The cabinet was Pacman. I was good at this game. Maybe if I beat it, I could finally leave. I played for what felt like hours, clearing level after level. But something was off. Each new maze was smaller than the last. The ghost could leave the walls. I couldn't. It almost made the game easier, until I reached a level so tight that Pacman couldn't move at all. Then the walls started closing in. The screen flashed red pixels, and a scream tore through the speakers. It sounded too real. I'm not even sure it came from the machine. Then the words appeared, "You will never leave." This haunted arcade keeps taunting me. Cabinets flicker on one after another, like it wants me to keep playing, but I don't. I can't. I don't have the energy anymore. I've been sitting in the same corner for what feels like days. My eyes sting from crying. I don't even remember why I'm trying to leave. That's when I noticed it. One cabinet that never lit up. A racing game. Maybe If I can simulate being outside, it'll make me feel better. So I sat down, I grabbed the wheel, and the game started. The first race was normal, then each new one had fewer drivers, until the track was littered with crashed cars. The sight didn't bother me. I've been here too long. I'm used to things breaking. In the final race, there was no other drivers, only wrecks. I tried to dodge them all, but there were too many. I hit one, and my car slammed into a wall. The impact shook the cabinet. I smashed my head against the screen, through the cracks and the blood. I could still read the words glowing through the glass. Tomorrow. I don't want to leave this place anymore. That's what I told myself as I walked towards the entrance of the haunted arcade. When I think about it, I have everything I need here. The air smells the same every day. The lights hum like they're alive. Even the food seems to refill itself when it gets low. As I move towards the exit, every cabinet I pass lights up, one by one, like they're watching me go. Well, almost everything. I reached the door. The sign still reads, closed. I flip it. Now it says, open. All I need now is company. I neglected my horse in Harvest Moon 64. You're supposed to brush it, feed it, keep it happy. But I didn't see the point. After a few days, it started acting strange. When I got close, it walked away. And one evening, it stopped running. It charged straight at me. I thought it was a glitch. It just pushed me aside every time. But that night, when I went to bed, just before the screen faded to black, the door burst open. The horse ran inside. My character never woke up the next day, and my save file was gone. I played an illegal copy of Pokemon Legends CA. After reading the reviews, there was no way I'd buy it full price. Maybe I should have. When I loaded into Lumiose, there was no one. No Pokemon, no NPCs, just me. In the distance, a Chikorita stood alone. I followed it through an alley. The wall textures were flat, the windows looked painted on. The reviews were right. The alley just repeated. No matter which way I turned, I ended up back where I started. I was about to shut the game off when I finally reached the Chikorita. It was standing over a corpse, blood around its mouth. The body looked exactly like my trainer. There's someone in my single-player Minecraft world. I left my base for a few minutes to mine iron. When I came back, someone had built a bed next to mine. There was a sign that said, "Your new roommate." Then the chat box popped up. Player joined the game. The name was mine. Then it said it again and again. When I turned around, someone was standing by the bed, perfectly still, but their head was turned the wrong way. Don't pirate Phasmophobia. My friend sent me a link so I could download it for free and play with them. Everything seemed normal. We gathered evidence, took ghost photos, the usual run. Before ending the investigation, we checked the photos. Every single one was of me, taken from my webcam. The last one had a silhouette smiling over my shoulder. I found an old Mario Party cartridge at the garage sale. The label didn't say Mario Party though, just Wario and Waluigi.exe written in a shaky red marker. When I turned it on, their eyes were black, no pupils, just dripping shadows. They didn't shout catchphrases, they screamed. Then the game whispered my name, not my player name, my real one. I turned off the console, but in the reflection of the TV, there were still two faces smiling back, and neither of them were mine. I got stuck in wolf form in Twilight Princess. No matter what I did, I couldn't transform back. Usually people run away from Wolf Link, but this time they didn't. They walked towards me, slowly, like re-deads. I tried to run, but I clipped into one of them. The screen went black, then I heard it, blades cutting through flesh, and a weak whimper from the wolf. Then silence. When I tried to reload my save, it said the file was corrupted. Something is wrong with my Super Mario 64 game. After beating the game, Peach appeared like she always does. She didn't have her crown, and her hair was white. She thanked Mario like normal. Then the screen flashed, once, twice, and when the image came back, it was just her head, floating above the courtyard, empty eyes staring forward. I turned off the console, I even unplugged the TV, but the image didn't go away. In Baldur's Gate 3, all my companions disappeared. Every night I went back to camp, there was always one less companion. Eventually, no one remained. I thought it was some kind of rare event, until that night, my character dreamed. I saw every companion die, in the most brutal, twisted ways imaginable. When my character woke up, there was a shadow standing behind them. It whispered, "You're next." Then the screen went black, and my save file was gone. My old NES cartridge of Zelda II had a save file named Help. I thought it was just the last owner messing around, but when I loaded it, I started inside the house with the infamous I am Error guy. Only this time, he said something different. "I am not going to let you leave." The screen glitched, the sprite started to distort. I couldn't leave the house. The music froze. The image is still stuck on my TV, even with both the console and the TV unplugged. There's a character in Portal called the Ratman. He's a scientist who went insane inside the facility. I found one of his room in Portal 2. You can hear him whispering through the walls. But I somehow clipped through the floor and ended up in a room I'd never seen before. The walls were covered in the usual scribbles and photos of Shell. But one photo wasn't of her, it was of me, taken from my webcam. Under it, the words, "Still alive, for now." The Scoutmaster took over my desktop. I was playing solo mode in Peak. When I reached the top, there was no flares, just the Scoutmaster, standing there. He didn't chase me like usual, he just waited. When I got close, he grabbed me. The game crashed. My desktop wallpaper changed to his face, smiling. Every shortcut was gone, except one, Peak.exe. When I launched it, the game started at the shore, but it was night. Scoutmaster started running towards me. When he caught me, my whole computer shut off. It never turned back on. I wish I hadn't played Skyrim again. It's one of those games I come back to every year, but this time, something was wrong. I kept seeing a shadow figure, long limbs, crawling on all fours like a spider, always just out of view. Every time I turned to look, it was gone, but every time I saw it, it felt closer. I decided to start the Dark Brotherhood questline, so I rested in a bed. I woke up in the cabin like always, but Astrid wasn't there. The shadow was, standing in the corner. It said, "Don't leave again." I accidentally left Super Smash Bros. Melee running overnight during training mode. When I came back, there was a shadow in the background, staring straight at the screen. Both characters were on the floor, like they'd trip. No idle animation, no sound. No matter what I did, they wouldn't stand up. But I still had damage percentage. 99, 98, 97. There's a stage in Pokemon Snap on the N64 that shouldn't exist. After getting a perfect score on every Pokemon, a new map appeared. Blank name, no preview image. When I loaded it, I was inside Professor Oak's lab. completely empty, just a straight hallway. At the end, I saw the professor, so I took a picture. Camera flashed, and I heard his voice, deep, distorted, wonderful. When I checked the photo, his eyes were gone, and he was smiling, a bloody grin from ear to ear.